Hello there, everyone. It's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership. I was just waving at the postman then because he just dropped a parcel off. So today we are talking about the feedback loop and why when you ask for feedback, you don't always get the information that you really want. And people just kind of say like, oh yeah, you're lovely or fine. And that the only time you ever seem to get, the real stuff, the real good stuff that you need to know rather than you want to know is when it's anonymous. And the problem with anonymous is that you don't really know how to give it some context and make it real for you, and therefore do something about it. So that's what I want to talk about today. If you are listening live today, say hello for me, please. It'd be really nice to get some feedback. As they say. Casey, hello. Good afternoon, my lovely. Thank you for the feedback. And so, look, how important is it to get feedback? Well, there's the thing. Okay. It's really easy to go through life, work, whoever, and in our daily business, just getting on with stuff. Yeah. And very simple just to keep moving on and moving on and moving on. Now, the problem with that, it's a bit like if you say, I'm always giving this example, but if we want to go to America and you get in your plane and you're going to fly to America, you set the course, yeah, and then you get on with it, don't you? And but at no time would you think that you would just like set the course and then just not look again and not see if you're going off course, or not see if the wind has blown you sideways, or the turbulence has made you go in a slightly different direction. And so when you're doing something like that, then, and if you were flying your plane, you would be checking in and seeing if you are on course for where you want to get to. And the thing is, that's what feedback is for a start. But it's no different to yourself. And if you want to get where you want to get, whether it be in your business or personally, but particularly in business, because that's what we're here for. And as a leader, then we need to get the best out of the people that are around us, and we want them to perform, what we want them to do. That would be great, wouldn't it? Or even what they decide they would like to do if they're really, really good at their job and they can come up with the ideas themselves. But the point being is that if we don't know what other people think of us, then we don't know what impact we're having on people. And if you don't know what impact you're having, you don't know whether they are sitting there behind your back saying like, oh, I wish that person wasn't here, or breathing a sigh of relief when you walk out of the room rather than when you walk in the room. You don't know whether they're thinking, wow, do you know what? Julie's really, really great and she makes me feel good and I want to work really hard and I'm going to put that extra effort in because she's amazing. Or you don't know whether they're saying, oh, for goodness sake, all you do is you drive me insane and I can't concentrate because you're making me feel bad, or you're scaring me half to death because you're a bully, or whatever the thing is that either stops them. So either helps them or hinders them. But you don't know if you don't ask. So in our Leaders Launchpad, the program that I run for growing leaders, we have a session where we are looking for feedback. And we had a session this morning, actually, which is why I'm thinking of doing this. And one of the lovely people on the program said that they'd been asked by their boss, actually, who'd also been on the program, to ask for some feedback. So, and she said that she cringed to start with, and was finding it really difficult. And didn't know what to say, and was given a document for a start to complete. And what she said she did is that she only filled in the pieces that she felt comfortable giving, because it wasn't anonymous for a start, and that she felt awful by putting in something that she felt was a criticism of that person. And the problem, well, therein lies the problem, because all you're going to get then is congratulations, aren't you wonderful, or all the things that you are good at, or that she likes, or you're already comfortable with. Now, you probably already know those things for a start, and that's what we call the things that we want you to continue with. But really, when you're looking at feedback, there are three things, and that is, what do I need to continue? Yes, but what do I need to stop doing, and what do I need to start doing? I.e., what's having a good impact, what's having a bad impact, and what's having no impact, let's say, because you're not doing it. And so it's no good just getting that congratulations, aren't you doing a lovely job, because it doesn't help us to grow. It helps us to continue, and absolutely that's great, but we need the stuff that's more uncomfortable, the stuff we say, like, oh, I wish you would do X or Y or Z, or I wish you'd given me more information, or I wish you'd communicate better, or I wish you'd tell me what's going on here, or I wish you'd give me some more feedback so that I felt better myself, all of that stuff. So there could be that you're missing out on. And, I wish you wouldn't be so grumpy with me, or I wish you wouldn't criticize me, or whatever the thing is. And the problem is your employees may well feel like they don't want to say that to you. And so with feedback, the reason why people don't like giving it is because if it's not anonymous, they are vulnerable saying that to you. Okay. So if you really want like decent feedback and you're willing to do something about it, and you want to use it to grow, then the only way you're going to be able to do that is to help people to feel less vulnerable, more safe, and valued in giving that feedback. I.e., they need to be able to trust you that you're going to do the right thing with the feedback that they give you. Otherwise, they're just going to tick the box and they're going to say, oh, yeah, lovely, you're so nice. Or they'll say nothing at all. And so that's why when I remember, like, when I was a police officer, we did one of these, and it was an anonymous one, and everybody just absolutely slated everybody because they finally got their opportunity to say what they really thought. But it was completely useless information because they didn't know how to deal with it and they didn't know where it come from. So we don't want that. What we want to do is to have honest and open conversations with people where it's okay to be honest. It's okay to be vulnerable, and you are going to listen with putting your big girl or boy pants on and actually being the adult and saying, you know what, I'm going to listen to what you've got to say and I'm going to take it on board and I'm going to use it to a positive effect. I.e., I'm going to do something about the things, that I need to start or stop, and I'm going to continue what I need to continue. And it's only at that point when you actually get, the real life view of what you really like, what the impact is, how you show up in the business. But as soon as you do get that, suddenly, wow, you've got all this ammunition to be even better, to motivate your teams better, to influence people better, and just, well, there'll be a whole load of other stuff that you'll be able to do as well. And the thing is, it's hard to take, isn't it? Nobody really wants to hear the negative stuff, but you need that stuff to be able to move forwards and grow. That's what growth is all about, isn't it? So how do you do it then? So how do you get Bob, who never says a word, or Felicity, who won't tell you anything other than all the lovely stuff? How do you get them to actually tell you what they really think and what they really want and what they really like or don't like about you and the way that you're dealing with them, so that you can improve that, so that you can get more out of the people that you're working with? Well, the first thing is, like I said before, is like, if they don't trust you, they aren't going to tell you. So you need to look at, what is it about them? Do they trust me? Do they think that I'm going to do the right thing with this? Do they think that I'm going to be able to cope with it? Do they feel guilty just because that's the kind of person they are and they're not used to giving what they might describe as negative feedback, let's say? So we need to understand, is it them, whereas it's just their personality that they don't like giving feedback and feel uncomfortable saying things like that? Or is it that they're actually like super scared of you and they don't want to do it because you are actually having an impact on them? So once we know that, we need to just then man up, woman up, whatever we do nowadays, and bite the bullet and say, you know what, I'm going to show them that I can be trusted with this information and that person is safe. Okay, how do you do that? Well, first of all, creating that safe space and explaining to them and communicating to them, why is it you want this feedback? Because everybody's got that little agenda thing in their head that says, like, well, if I tell him this, then, or her, then, the reason why they really want it is because they want to sack me. Yeah. So we need to get over that point, the why of why you want the feedback. So just by telling them, yeah, look, the reason I want this is because Julie told me because she's on my course and I need to get some feedback, and I realized that this is going to help me grow. So having an honest conversation with them about why you want the feedback in the first place is the first thing. So if you have ever been guilty of just sending out the email and just saying, can you fill this in, please? Or sending one of those anonymous survey things out, you could stop that now. Yeah, you need to have a conversation with the person. And then you might say, well, look, the reason I want it is this. And then you need to explain to them that you want, it sounds obvious, that you want honesty. Okay. And you need to explain to them the consequence of the honesty. Yeah. Katie, yes, exactly that. Katie has made a very good point here. Let's put it up. I think psychological safety is so important for a positive work environment. Absolutely. Yeah. So what you're doing here is exactly what Katie suggested, is creating psychological safety. Yeah. Because if they don't feel safe, they are not going to tell you. So you need to create the space for them to do that. Explain why and explain what you're looking for, and that actually you're looking for all of the bits, so the awkward bits, as well as all the lovely bits. Yeah. You're looking for three things: stop, start, continue. That's a good way of putting it, let's say. And what you also need to be able to do to create that psychological safety is to explain to them what happens if they give it. Yeah. So for example, you might say, Katie, look, I really need to do some feedback because I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to improve the way I do things. And, I think all round it'd be great for team performance. Don't you, Katie? Yes, I do. Okay, brilliant. Well, because I trust you, Katie, and because I really value what your thoughts are, I'd love to get some really, really good feedback from you. Would that be okay? So can you see I'm checking in that she's okay with that? Yes, I am okay. Hopefully you are okay, Katie. Yeah. And then you need to explain that the reason I'm getting it is because I want to grow and I really, really need honest, open feedback. And I know it's a little bit awkward, Katie, but would it be okay if you actually gave me, some, the good stuff and the bad stuff, let's say, yeah? What I'm looking for is what do I need to continue because I'm doing really well. That'd be nice. But that's the easy bit. And I'd love to also know what should I stop doing, or what makes it more awkward for you? What makes it more difficult for you? And what should I start doing because I'm not doing any of that, so that you would love it if I could. Does that make sense, Katie? And I'm checking in again. Does it make sense? Are you okay with that? Yes, I am. And then, Katie, I know you may find this uncomfortable because it's a bit unusual that I'm asking for it, but I want to reassure you that this is all about me growing. It's not about you, getting in trouble for saying something. I really want you to be able to feel that you can be honest with me and open. And whatever you say, even if I don't like it, and we know sometimes it can be a bit like that, it's hard. Even if I don't like it, I'm going to listen to what you say, and I'm not going to, jump on you or anything like that. And I'm going to thank you for it because it's going to help me and it's going to help the team in the long run. So there, can you see that what I'm doing is I'm explaining to Katie that it's okay. I really, truly mean it, and I'm genuine in mean it. And I'm a grown up. I'm an adult coming at this from an adult ego state where I'm going to listen to what she's got to say and I'm going to take it on board. And at that point, you might think, well, actually, Katie might be more likely to be honest. Now, one thing I would say is that this might not happen the first time because Katie might think, oh, finally, this is the first time that Julie's ever asked for this. I'm going to be a bit careful and a bit guarded by what we say here. So it might take a couple of times for her to see that the information that she gives you, that it is dealt with in the way that you said you were going to deal with it. So this brings us back around to that trust loop again. Yeah, people need to trust. So they're going to maybe give you a little bit if you do that, and they want to see what you do with that information. And here's the really key thing. If you take that information and you really, as a grown-up, look at it, think about it, and think, right, okay, this is what I need to do differently, and then you show that you do something differently or you think differently because of it, then Katie gets a positive response from you in relation to what she then was vulnerable about and trusted you to with the information. If you do nothing and you just ignore it, she is going to think, well, that wasn't worth it. And there you go. Nothing ever happens when I do say it. So I'm never going to say it again. If you then go ahead and get defensive about it, she's definitely going to think she's not ever going to say that again. So the only way to get true feedback to truly grow is to be honest and really take a deep breath and listen to what that person's got to say without blame, without worrying about what it is, and just thank her for that feedback so that you can do something about it. And the best thing you can do is to do something. And if you don't agree with it, have an honest and open conversation, or nearly knocked my computer off then, an open and honest conversation with Katie, for example, about why she feels it, and then you can understand it even more. But the key here is setting it up so that Katie feels comfortable. Sorry, Katie, I'm using you as a little prop today. The Katie feels comfortable, and then that when she gives you that, she tests it out, you do something good with it. Yeah. And then, of course, it gets more comfortable because she'll be used to giving you that information. And when you ask next time, she thinks, it's safe. I didn't get sacked. I didn't get bullied. I didn't get anything horrible. And actually something good came out of it because Julie's changed or whatever. And therefore, she feels more comfortable in giving that feedback. So it's like it takes time to get that trust. Yeah. But if you do this, then as much as you don't like it, you're going to improve. And, you get to a point where you don't have to ask for formal feedback because people are going to be much more comfortable in giving you that informally at the time. And you're going to take it on board, which means it's much quicker and easier. And I was going to say fun. I'm not sure it's fun. It's not fun, but you know what? It's so much easier if you don't take it personally. Then it is to a degree. It's such a valuable thing to get that information from people that it is almost fun because you know that you're going to grow your business because you're listening to that feedback, and you're not going to end up in Timbuktu when you thought you were going to America. Yeah. So if you would like some help in getting some feedback from your team, then give me a shout because we can help you to do that. We can set that up for you. If you would like to find out more about growing as a leader, including this feedback part, then do give me a shout because we are running another cohort of the Leaders Launchpad starting very soon. So we can get you the details of that. And if you would like more of these videos, then we have a Facebook group that you can join called Quiet Leaders with Impact. And feel free to message me and I will get you into the Facebook group. So I hope you found that useful. And just remember that feedback isn't all bad. It doesn't have to be awkward, but you must create trust. Otherwise, you're just going to get garbage. What is it? Garbage in, garbage out. You're just going to get rubbish and they're just going to tell you what you want to hear. And you're not going to get all of the three things, which is what do I stop? What do I start? What do I continue? Okay, it's Julie from Think, Be, Do. Thank you very much for your attention. If you're watching this on replay, do say hello. And if you have any questions, pop them in and I'll check them out. Take care, everyone. And remember, don't forget to ask for feedback.